Welcome to this edition of Parks Are for People. I'm Steve Foulger, your host, and you'll be joining me as we take a look at some of the best sports and recreation activities here in the Southland. In today's show, we'll make a splash at one of the county's coolest hotspots, Raging Waters. After that, you'll ride along with the best mountain bikers in the country as we compete in the Otterbein Cyclocross. And you'll be in for a bit of old-fashioned etiquette as we pay a visit to the Santa Anita Bowling Green Club. Finally, we'll explore the world of scuba diving with the LA County underwater diving instructors. But first, when we come back, we'll take a look at a little California history right here at Placerita Canyon. So stay with us.
Clint Eastwood is a little upset.
Seems some misguided individuals out there are abusing our public lands, and I don't like it. And I don't think you do either. Vandalizing parks and robbing historic sites or overrunning wild areas, those are ours, and we have to save them. As I see it, these clowns can either clean up their act or get out of town.
Write Take Pride in America. Post Office Box 1339, Jessup, Maryland 20794.
Remember the great California gold rush? How about the Spanish invasion? Hollywood westerns? This is Placerita Canyon County Park, a 350-acre nature preserve at the base of the San Gabriel Mountains that's rich in classic California history. Up until about 250 years ago, the Tataviam Indians were seasonal migrants to the canyon. In 1769, the Spaniards arrived, and Christianity gained a foothold among the Indians, leading eventually to the destruction of their culture. Half a century later, California came under Mexican rule, and the area became privately owned. In 1842, Placerita Canyon suddenly burst into prominence with the discovery of gold. Legend has it that one Francisco Lopez awoke from a dream of finding gold and returned to the task of digging up wild onions for his wife, only to discover the tiny nuggets clinging from the roots. The golden age of Placerita Canyon was launched. Today, the Oak of the Golden Dream occupies the site of Lopez's historic discovery. In the early 1900s, the Walker family acquired the land and built this home. Life wasn't easy for the Walkers and their 12 children, but they were a resourceful bunch and managed to utilize all that the land had to offer. They grew much of their own food, made fertilizer from the decaying leaves, and tapped a small oil well to produce heat and light. They even leased their land to Hollywood filmmakers. Many Western movies were shot in this rugged and isolated landscape. In the 40s and 50s, the Walker family sold the land to the state, and Placerita County Park came into being. There are 5 different ecosystems within the canyon. The Nature Center, completed in 1971, provides an ideal setting for educating park visitors. Operated by a dedicated staff of naturalists and volunteers, the Nature Center offers organized activities for schools, families, and individual nature lovers. The displays and exhibits tell the story of Placerita Canyon's complex environment, explaining the plants and animals, geology, weather, and climate patterns, and how they interact with one another. The balance of the ecological cycle is crucial to the survival of all forms of life in the canyon. Every Saturday and Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m., park visitors are invited to enjoy lectures and media presentations given by experts. The result is a greater appreciation of our natural history. True to its educational aims and purposes, the center maintains a close relationship with schools in the Los Angeles area. This joint venture makes possible the daily field trips available to school children.
A strong odor. Why do you suppose it
Every
has a
year,
strong
over
odor?
15,000 youngsters attend tours given by these highly trained individuals.
There are no little
The Nature Center is so popular, many field trips are booked up to 6 months in advance.
It smells a little bit like the sage that your mother puts in the turkey dressing.
A campground is located in an oak-wooded canyon, and hiking trails wander across the landscape. The most popular path is the Heritage Trail, which passes right by the Oak of the Golden Dream and the Walker family cabin. The entire canyon reflects the changes of season. Summer, winter, spring, or fall, the unique beauty of Placerita leaves its mark on each visitor. Placerita Canyon Park is easily reached by taking the Golden State or San Diego Freeway to Highway 14 and continuing north to Placerita Canyon Road. Through the many years of its existence, Placerita has been an inspiration for all who visit. From those who sought riches and wealth in the form of gold, to those who seek the calm solitude of an afternoon in the woods.
Oh, hi, Abby. Is Paul here? Oh, hi, Paul. This John said...
Hi, Hope. Why don't you run out in the kitchen and get some cookies and milk?
Gee, I am bored. There's got to be something better to do than just lie around watching the tube.
Yes.
Want wary, fellow.
Raging waters where the 210 meets the 10 in San Dimas. A whole day of liquid refreshments.
Welcome to Raging Waters, Southern California's remedy for the summer doldrums. The largest water theme park west of the Mississippi is right here in Los Angeles County, inside Bonelli Park in San Dimas. Supervisor Pete Schabarum originated the concept of developing a water theme park on a county facility back in 1981. The process took only 2 years before Raging Waters became a reality in 1983. The area was created to be a tropically landscaped amusement park featuring 14 different water rides. The rides here at Raging Waters are tailored for everyone's enjoyment. This is Raging Rivers. Here you can experience the thrill of whitewater rafting on the world's largest man-made river. You can lazily pilot your tube through the canyons and waterfalls, through the swirling whirlpools and over the waterspouts. The best is saved for last as you ride the rapids to the river's end. These are some of the best waves this side of LA. This wave cove was designed to simulate the optimal in ocean-like waves. For added safety, life vests are provided free of charge. Safety is of the utmost importance here at Raging Waters. The park is operated under the philosophy that safety and fun go hand in hand. With 44 acres of slides, chutes, and lagoons, the lifeguard staff was initially faced with the problem of monitoring this large and unique layout. A plan was created that positioned trained water safety experts in strategic places throughout the park. Additional safety measures have been incorporated into the park's overall design, providing the utmost in rideability, slideability, and just good fun. Say hello to the folks at home. Hi. Younger kids have a paradise all their own. The Little Dipper is only 18 inches deep and is carefully supervised by lifeguards. 3 activity pools offer endless amusement for the kids. Also at the Little Dipper are swing sets and a grassy area for Mom and Dad. You'll find everything you need for a day in the sun, from sunglasses to sunscreen, at the beach shop. You name it and they've probably got it. And be sure to bring a healthy appetite along, because Raging Waters is known for its culinary delights, guaranteed to satisfy everyone's taste buds. The park is open daily during the summer, and admission is only $12.95 for adults and $8.95 for kids. There's a ride here to suit everyone's taste. And for the brave-hearted, there's Dropout, which is exactly what it does. The free fall in Dropout is so exhilarating, the ride takes your breath away. Gather up your courage before you take that lonely walk to the top, because on your way down, and it is straight down, you'll hit speeds up to 40 miles an hour. Dropout may or may not be the ride for you, but that's okay. You don't have to ride the rides here at Raging Waters. This place is also great for just lying around.
Guess where Bill is? Blue chip Bill? Gotta be Wall Street. No, he joined the Peace Corps. I thought that went out with the 60s.
Peace Corps. It's creating food systems in Africa, turning deserts back into forests, and fighting malaria in Asia. It's hands-on and hats off. It's making a friend. It's been tough, but for 25 years, the Peace Corps has been making a difference in the world.
Bill, I can't believe it.
Peace Corps, the toughest job you'll ever love.
These hills behind Otterbein Park in Hacienda Heights will soon bear witness to one of the newest and toughest off-road bicycle races in Southern California. A trial of machine, muscle, and sheer determination. A race known as the Otterbein Cyclocross. To understand how the cyclocross evolved, one must look back into the history of cycling and to another continent. The first cyclocross competitions were begun by European racers who wanted to stay fit during the bleak winter months. Equipping their bicycles with thick tires, they would ride the dirt roads and forest trails of their homelands. The cyclocross was rare in America, mostly used by professionals and cycling groups. But recent innovations in bicycle manufacturing have begun to change all that. They're called the all-terrain bicycle, but most people know them as mountain bikes. Made specifically to ride the dirt roads and hilly trails, the mountain bike is a bold leap in the evolution of off-road bicycle racing. These cycles are made with extra low gears and heavy-duty frames. The brakes and handlebars have been specially designed for off-road use. These features help the bicycle endure punishments that no ordinary bike could withstand, allowing the rider to go where no cyclist has gone before. We'll be following the most demanding category of the competition, the senior men's division. These tough competitors must cycle a total of 18 miles through unforgiving conditions. To see just how demanding the race will be, we walk the course on the day before the race. The first section of the race is on this dirt road, which is wide and smooth. Look for speed from the racers and a lot of position changing. Riders will want to be out in front for the next section of the cyclocross, the narrow trail. Here the riders will break out of formation. The steep uphill sections will require a delicate sense of balance and a great deal of brute strength. Some areas are so steep that the riders will be forced to dismount and carry their bikes up the hill. Most of the downhill sections have no trails or roads, and the racers have to be careful of the many potholes and bumps hidden in the tall grass. The last downhill will demand an incredible amount of skill, as riders must negotiate these tight turns at high speeds. After they make it through these hairpin turns, they then have a long, smooth path down through the trees to the finish line. But the race isn't over. They then must complete 3 more laps of the course. The race quickly becomes a series of individual struggles. Competitors battle time and terrain in the hope of putting distance between themselves and the others. Only the toughest competitors are able to remain on their bikes and ride these hills. Many dismount and push their bicycles to the top. Little wonder the cyclocross is often called a cycling and running event. A quick turn and the racers find themselves heading downhill. But downhill doesn't mean easier. The riders must hang on as they fight to stay on their cycles. The riders struggle to the top of the last hill on the course. First to the top means first to the bottom, usually. The front runners are experienced racers and they know anything can happen on the steep and winding road leading into the park. Through the trees and down into the equestrian area, the riders have only completed the first of 3 laps. As the riders rack up the miles, their faces begin to show the physical demands of this grueling event. When it began, they rode to win. Now they ride to finish. Once atop the last hill on the final lap, the competitors know that now is the time to pour it on. The winner of the senior men's division was newcomer John Harrow. In second place was current off-road champion John Tomac, and the women's category was taken by 1986 world champion Cindy Whitehead. One by one, the racers crossed the finish line, completing the final lap of a race that took incredible effort and courage to compete in. Today, these competitors can be proud to have finished the Otterbein Cyclocross. With the race over, quiet returns to the hills of Otterbein Park. The calm beauty of this land will remain undisturbed, at least until next year. It's a game of strategy, etiquette, and sportsmanship. This is lawn bowling, and it just might be the most cultured outdoor sport in Southern California. Lawn bowling is a far cry from the more commonly known form of bowling, with pins, strikes, and gutter balls. In fact, the two sports have very little in common. Modern lawn bowling was developed in early England, where the game acquired a strong sense of tradition. The sport made a permanent foothold in the San Gabriel Valley, with the completion of Arcadia County Park and the formation of the Santa Anita Bowling Green Club in the late 30s. Since then, the club has made sure that lawn bowling has remained a highly civilized and social activity. With more than 200 participants, the club continues to take its lawn bowling very seriously. Participants usually meet every afternoon to roll a few down the green. On almost any given day, 60 to 70 players wearing traditional whites can be found practicing. The facilities at Arcadia Park include 4 bowling greens and a clubhouse. The quality of this course has attracted and entertained visiting players from as far away as Canada and Ireland. This facility is considered to be one of the finest in the country. To begin the game, a little white ball known as a jack is tossed at the far end of a grassy run. While the game of lawn bowling may look a little unusual, the rules are really quite simple. The object is to roll the black ball as close to the jack as possible. The team that does this during a round receives a point. The team with the most points at the end of the game is declared the winner. True to its name, lawn bowling is played on a carefully tailored field of grass called the green. And different courses are considered fast or slow depending on how the run is cut and sloped. I'm here with Bud Rogers, who's the president of the Santa Anita Bowling Green Club. Bud's going to give me a lesson, but first, Bud, tell me a little bit about the history of the sport.
Well, there is evidence that this game was played in a similar form in ancient Egypt, 7,000 years ago. They passed it on to the Greeks, and the Greeks to the Romans. Italy today has a similar game called bocce that is similar to this, very similar to this game.
And how long has it been popular here in Southern California?
Well, our club celebrated their 50th anniversary in 1987, so we've been here 50 years.
All right. Now, I noticed the ball doesn't look anything like a bowling ball. It's lighter, it's kind of oddly shaped. Why is that?
Well, one side is shaved and off, and it's weighted slightly, so that when the ball slows down, or the bowl slows down, well, it'll curve either to the right or the left.
Okay. And the object is to come close to the little white ball, the jack?
Close to the jack as possible.
All right. Let me give it a try.
Very good, very good.
Bud, thank you very much for being with us, and we'll see you on the green. The highly developed tradition of nonverbal communication is underway at the far end of the run. Team members standing at the end of the green communicate to the teammate where best to roll the ball. Few words are spoken during the game. Teammates talk to the player through a wide variety of hand signals, creating a symphony of gestures. The highlight for any player is one of the many tournaments held at the greens. This is a charity tournament to raise money for the City of Hope. While the tournament is all in fun, no one can deny that this is a serious competition. For more than half a century, the Santa Anita Bowling Green Club has kept the art of lawn bowling alive here at Arcadia Park. Because of these dedicated individuals, the tradition will live on.
There is a need in your own hometown. Please join your local chapter.
Gee, it's nice and warm today.
Think it's warm enough to go swimming?
My gosh, you'd freeze out there.
Hey, look, the frogman!
Yeah, hey, there's two of them.
One of them's a girl. Let's go see what they've got.
Hi.
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Isn't it cold out there?
No, not with these suits on. No, I always want to try that.
Is it very difficult? No, not when you get used to it. Looks like a lot of fun.
Well, it is. You should learn how to do it. Can you both swim? Sure.
Al, why don't you invite them to your next class? You know, Al's an underwater diving instructor.
Oh, sure like to have you come down. Should be a good swimmer, though, and be in good physical...
It's kind of fun watching old movies, especially on exciting subjects like diving. But the sport of skin and scuba diving has changed a lot since this film was produced, and the Los Angeles County Department of Parks and Recreation has been a powerful force in the shaping of that history. Let's take an in-depth look at just how. Here in Southern California, the sport of diving really got its start back in the early 50s. All it took was Hollywood to glamorize the heroic exploits of Navy divers during World War II, and before long our local beaches were teeming with would-be frogmen. Getting into this new sport was easy. there was an abundance of Navy diving equipment at cut-rate prices in every war surplus store in town. All one had to do was plop the money down and walk out looking like Mike Nelson. The only problem was no one knew how to properly use the equipment, and that led to a serious problem.
In 1954, the first diving-related death occurred in Los Angeles County. In response, the County Board of Supervisors called together a task force composed of experts from all facets of the diving community.
Seeing education and qualified instruction as the solution to the problem, the department turned to the Scripps Institute of Oceanography in San Diego for help. Responding to the urgent need, the Institute's chief diver, Conrad Limbaugh, himself a former Navy diving instructor, took a select group of county aquatics specialists through an intensive instructor training program. These individuals went on to become the first ever recreational underwater safety instructors in the world. The year was 1955, and the LA County Underwater Instructor Certification Course had been born.
Since then, 35 UICC training courses have been conducted, and county instructors number in the thousands. Let's take a look at just what goes into becoming one of the most respected diving instructors in the world.
Say two or top. Or top or two, okay? This is the last one.
It starts in the dead of winter. 3 months of intensive classroom, pool, and open ocean training. While most sport divers would rather sit in front of their TV sets watching the football game, these hardy souls devote 12 consecutive weekends and over 200 hours to not only honing their skills as advanced divers, but also to becoming excellent communicators. As future instructors, they assume a responsibility to effectively impart the principles, laws, and techniques that together make up the science and sport of safe diving. The course begins with a rigorous test of the candidate's physical conditioning, which includes, among other requirements, a timed 400-meter swim, a 25-yard underwater swim with the recovery of a 10-pound weight, and finally a bailout requiring a candidate to hit the water with equipment in hand, swim to the bottom of the pool, and then completely suit up. Those who satisfactorily complete the swim requirements go on to the written and oral portions of the exam. Here candidates are tested on their experience and knowledge of diving principles, as well as their ability to effectively communicate in group situations.
It's okay to take your aide aside. Tell them exactly what you want them to do, how you want them to do it, when you want them to do it, to have a little more control on your aide.
With swimming, written, and oral phases of the test behind them, these would-be instructors are next subjected to a series of open ocean exercises designed to test their skill in the use of equipment and underwater teamwork. There's a lot to this sport of diving, but with a little practice, under the watchful eye of a county instructor, you could soon be exploring the mysteries of the deep. Since 1955, over 250,000 students have been trained, including me. So if you're looking for an exciting new sport, this just might be it. See you below. Well, that wraps this edition, and we hope you enjoyed it. Parks Are for People is brought to you by the County of Los Angeles. I'm Steve Foulger. Thanks for coming along, and we'll see you next time.